The atoms that we're made of have negatively charged electrons whirling around a big bulky nucleus.
The quantum theory offers a very different explanation of our world.
The universe is made.
What is up, everybody? Scientifically Stupid here, and today I will be showing you how to make an animation of a water text or a fluid text, and it looks like this. It's kind of like Jello. Here it is again. You don't have to say Nicholas. You can make it say whatever you want. But that's what it's going to look like. And yeah, let's get right into it. So you're going to want to start off in Blender. Now, you're going to want to click out of this to start. And at the start of pretty much everything you're going to do, you're going to delete this square, unless you're going to need it. It's actually a cube. Never mind. Delete the cube. Now, press 1 to go to front view on the number pad. You can scroll up a little. If you hit Shift A, add text, you can then see that it adds text. If you hit Tab to go to edit mode, you can type in whatever you want. For now it's water. Hit Tab to return back to object mode and drag it so it's centered over the green line. Now to rotate it to make it standing up, press R, then X, then 90, then enter. Now it should be standing up, and now it's time to add some thickness to the text. So you can pull this over a little bit to bring everything into view. If you go to the object data button, I'm going to change the extrude value to 0.1, my depth to 0.02, and the resolution to 3. You can do something different if you want. I just think it looks pretty good with this resolution and depth and the extrude. But then what you're going to want to do is, since for this we're going to be using dynamic paint, what you're going to do is hit Alt-C to convert it to mesh, and hit mesh from curve meta surf text. And once you hit that, you should get more options. And to start, you're going to want to go to the object modifier button, and we're going to, so if you go to wireframe mode, you're going to see that the geometry in the words are not equal. For example, right here, you have more geometry on the curved sections of the letters rather than here, like on the W. You have less because it's straight. So you're going to hit Add Modifier, go down to here, the Remesh modifier under Generate, and now you're going to see it kind of disforms your word. Kind of looks like a bird for me, like standing. See it? See what I'm talking about? Oh well. You're going to go to the Octree depth. After you remove the check mark next to remove disconnected pieces, you'll see a little bit more appears, but it's obviously not a word. You're going to go under mode and Octree depth, change the Octree depth up, and now you'll see the word starting to appear. For now, I'm going to use an Octree depth of 8. I think it looks pretty good. Now you're going to hit apply. Now once you apply it, you can return back to solid mode, and you'll see that the edges are like really not smooth. So if you want to change that, what you're going to do is hit Tab. After, of course, over here, make sure you hit smooth first, which they're a little bit better, but they're still not as smooth as they could be. So you're going to hit Tab to go to edit mode, and then hit A once or twice until everything is selected, which is just the word right now. Now we're going to come up here under Mesh Tools and Deform and hit Smooth Vertex. Once you hit that, you're going to come down here and change the repeating value to 10. Now once you hit enter, you can press Tab again to get off of edit mode, and you'll see that the edges are smoother. You can probably change the repeating to a little bit more, like maybe up a little higher, whatever you want. I think 10 works pretty well. So you're going to hit Tab, you'll see you have your word, and now what you're going to want to do is go to the the physics page, click the button Dynamic Paint, make sure Canvas is selected, click Add Canvas. Now once that's done, you can just deselect this because you're just going to be now adding mesh and a plane. You can scale this. It doesn't have to be really big. It just has to cover the word. It doesn't have to, but oh well. You're going to go to Textures, New, and you're going to change the color to grayish if you want. That's what I was going to do. But then you're going to hit Shift A to add, and you're going to add a mesh UV sphere. Now if you want the same size of a UV sphere as me, press S and then 0.2 and then enter. Now once you're done with that, you can drag it, you can hit 1 to enter front view, and then you drag it so it's just to the right of your word. I'm going to drag it a little bit down from the middle because most of my words are only cover half of what the W does. So then, first off, if you want your cursor to the center, you hit Shift S and then cursor to center. If you hit 3 on the number pad, you will go to right view, and what you're going to want to do from there is move the UV sphere so it's slightly in front of the word. Once you do that, you can return back to front view or whatever you want. And then you're ready to set up the texture for the water. So you're going to right click on water, go to its texture, click new, and then up here change it from Blender Render to Cycles Render, and then click the Use Nodes button. You can go to the Viewport Shading menu down here, change it from Solid to Rendered View, and it doesn't really look that much like water, so what you're going to do is you're going to change the surface type from Diffuse to Glass. That should change it a little bit so it looks a little more like water. You're going to change the color. You can change it to blue. You can really change it to whatever you want, but if you want the same color as me, you're gonna use this hexadecimal. So go to the hex option and type in CCDBE7. Now that will change it to a bluish, and that should be good for the water. Now if you go to your UV sphere, I'm going to use the color red for now. I think it looks pretty good. And then once you've done that, go to the world menu and go to the color and change it to white so you can see everything. Once you're done with that, you can return back to solid view and set up the water animation. So you're going to go to the physics section, and you're going to go down to, if it's not already open the drop down, Dynamic Paint Advanced. Open that up, go to Surface Type, and click Waves. That should be good for now. Now if you go back to the UV sphere, if you want to set up the texture so it's smoother, you can go to Object Modifier, Add Modifier, Subdivision Surface, and change the view to 2 and also the render to 2, and click smooth over here. That will make it a smooth sphere. And now if you go back to the physics section, add dynamic paint, make sure brush is selected, add brush, and now go back to your word and change. I've found out that the damping value of around 0.6 or 0.7, whichever one you want, see what looks the best, will work pretty well. And now you can set up the movement for the UV sphere. So what you're going to do is make sure it's to the left of the word and you're on frame 1. Click I on your keyboard and then hit location. Now go to frame 40, or however fast you want it to move. Drag it to the right of the sphere, click I and then location again. Go 10 frames forward, make sure it's in the same spot, I, then location. 40 frames later, which is 90, drag it back to the left of your object, I, location. Now we're ready to set the end of this, so I'm going to set the end to 130, and after that, you can test it out. It's not really going to look very well, and it might give you bad frames because it's not really rendered yet, but if you click play, you'll see that it looks a little bit like water, and there's some stuff that you might want to play around with in the physics section, like the time scale. If I hit like 0.5, it will like go in slow motion. But I'm just gonna leave that at 1 for now, so it looks more like water, in my opinion. So once you've done that, you're going to set up the camera. So if you press 0 on the number pad, you go to the camera. If you zoom in a little, click N, and then over here, you want to put a check mark next to lock camera to view. Once you've done that, you can move the camera around. You can move the view around while in the view of the camera. So I'm just gonna set mine up like this. Once you're done with that, you are actually ready to render. So I'm going to render mine. So it's here. Let's set up some rendering options. I'm going to set mine up for the resolution of 100%. I usually use a frame rate of 30 FPS, 30 frames per second. PNG, I'm going to change that to H.264. You don't need to change yours. Encoding, unless you're putting music to this, you don't need any audio codec. But if you are playing music, go to the audio codec and MP3. But I'm not using music, of course. So now I'm going to set up the output folder, Blender Animations, and then this is where I'm going to name it water text. Wow, I hit F12 twice instead of the backspace. Text. I'm going to save it as water text, accept. And now you are ready to render, and I will see you when this is done. Okay, so this was the final frame rendered, and it looks like water, and then you can like save it wherever you want. But now I will show you how it ended up. So this is how the video ended up. And remember, you can mess around with the settings for this to see if you can get bigger waves, or make the waves last longer. And yeah, you can mess around with those settings and comment for more videos. And you can suggest videos too. And as always, thanks for watching.